Hey everybody, my name is Kevin. Welcome to my small L-shaped studio.
Kevin Herzog is a photo stylist who has taken a hands-on approach to decorating his tiny New York apartment. He's used tricks of the trade to give the place high style without breaking the bank. The L shape of the 500 square foot apartment made figuring out which room is which kind of tough.
Well, I am a cheater. I like to take a shortcut when it's available. When I come across a design problem, a lot of times I try to think around it. I've done everything that any carpentry shop would do in this very apartment.
The dining room is more of an entry space that's also used for eating.
I wanted something really dramatic to stop your eye when you first walked into the apartment, and I think my friend Stephen Tashin's painting of the Blackout is the perfect thing. It's hanging here in front of these two pieces of plexiglass that I've suspended from the ceiling. The plexiglass delineates the bedding area from the dining area. My love of plexiglass has no bounds.
Kevin's small bedroom has been taken over by a mountain of books.
I love books and I'm always reading, and I managed to acquire a number of them. And before I had these crafty bookshelves, I was awake in the middle of the night many times by falling reading material, but I eventually adopted this crafty, invisible, vertical bookshelf system, and my life has been a much better place ever since.
The books in the bedroom are a nice touch because they would have taken up way too much room on a built-in shelf or a standing bookcase. And instead, they look like this ghostly stack of floating books. He's also used them to put framed pictures up on the top. They end up looking like a pop art sculpture installation.
The living room is an eclectic mix of old and new items, designer and homemade.
I like the fact that the floor covering is a very fancy silk and wool. The chairs are high Scandinavian style. The table is just thrift store trash, and the mirror is very rustic. They're not things that you would think to put together, but you can see that when you add it all up, it makes a pretty picture.
Kevin proves that you can make an extra bedroom in the unlikeliest of places.
I decided to use my dressing room as a multi-function room. I put all of my office things on this trolley, and it's also a guest bedroom. I had this coffin-like box constructed to hold storage and all kinds of extra things, but the top of it actually flips up, and it becomes a twin bed. So all of my guests can come in here and cocoon themselves in the guest room / office.
Nice work. That is really smart. You've got a storage space that's a bench and a bed.
The one thing I would be a little nervous about is that the cushions are in two, so you might be sliding around it a little bit, but other than that, I think it's a really great solution to storage.
The office is in the hallway where Kevin hung artwork that anyone can afford.
I didn't know what to do with this long, skinny room when I first moved in, and a friend of mine suggested that I get these chalkboards in lieu of artwork, which I could not afford at the time. It's kind of an ever-changing installation in my apartment. So after the chalkboards went up, I went to the hardware store, bought a couple of pieces of medium-density fiber board, nailed them together, put them on wheels, and I created this handy-dandy little workspace here in the long, narrow room. Right now I'm touching up the floors with a magic marker. A lot of times I run through the white walls, touching up the walls with white paint. And of course, Windexing is as close to a hobby as I get. When someone walks into my apartment, I want them to notice the little details I've spent so much time installing and notice the design.
Next, a small Austin house that's spare on furniture, but huge on storage.